Hi everyone, so I'm Darren from Care First. I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes for anyone who's slightly late in joining, and then we'll get started. So just a couple more minutes. So that's fine. It's a couple of minutes past now, so we'll start. So the way I normally do my webinars is I'll normally pre-record it, play the actual recording, and then go live at the end of the session to either take any questions or share any suggestions. So what I'm going to do now is play the recording. If anyone has any issues or anything that they need to ask during the session, there should be a questions panel on your right. So whether that's a technical issue, someone's just put, is there any audio yet? Hopefully you can hear me now. I haven't had anything to come through to say that there isn't. So if anyone can't hear me now, if you just message and I'll be able to get back to you. So I'm going to play the webinar now. Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Darren and I am a service manager from Care First. So first of all, I'd like to thank you all today for tuning into this webinar on kindness. So as you will all hopefully know by now, it's Mental Health Awareness Week this week, and the theme is kindness. So what we thought would be really good today is to do a webinar on kindness. And what's really important today is that we hopefully can all be very interactive and share lots of ideas and examples of how you guys have been kindness. And I'm certainly going to share some of my own examples of stuff that I've done through the COVID, especially since lockdown. So I think we're in week 9 now. So it'd be interesting to see what other people have done. We all might get some good ideas from this today as well, from the examples that are shared that we might even be able to do going forward, which will be really good. So first, I just want to talk about some of the amazing acts of kindness that we have seen. I'm sure we've all seen on the news the amazing amount of money raised by Colonel Tom Moore, which is obviously incredible. He's raised millions for the NHS, and he actually, is looking to raise around £1,000. So it's absolutely brilliant. And we've also seen, or I've certainly seen, lots of, shall we say, groups on Facebook. So there was one on Brave the Shave. So people were having their heads shaved, and when they were doing it, they were raising money for the NHS as well. And I'm originally from Cornwall, so there was one down there, and I think they raised something around £10,000 in the end, which is just incredible. And obviously, there's lots of examples up and down the country of similar things. I know the football pundit Gary Neville, he had let the NHS use this hotel, so NHS employees could stay in the hotel if they were self-isolating from obviously their family, or because they couldn't go home. So I think, that they're some of the, shall we say, the bigger examples. I mean, a lot of them, their examples, for example, I haven't got a hotel that I'd be able to give to the NHS to use. So there's certainly examples that we'll see in the news and all, but for certainly me and maybe some of you, we can't necessarily do them acts of kindness on that scale. So it's talking about maybe the little things that we can do for us and for our family, friends, and other people that are around us. So yeah, I'm going to move on to the second slide. So this slide is basically just a couple of interesting points about kindness, just to give us some context about why the theme is Kindness for Mental Health Awareness Week and to why kindness is so important. So the first point is just saying that almost 2/3 of UK adults say that being kind to others has a positive impact on their mental health. I think what's actually really important to say about that as well is that being kind to others, certainly from my point of view, and hopefully most of you will feel the same, being kind to someone else does have a really positive impact on my mental health. But we've got to remember the impact that will have on that other person as well. So if you're doing something nice for someone else, that's also going to be beneficial to their mental health. So by doing something kind, your mental health's possibly going to benefit, and the person you'll do, or person or people that you're doing it for, will benefit as well. So it can have a massive effect. And that first quote is taken from the Mental Health Foundation. So just to sort of say where that's from. And the second quote there, that's just saying that studies have shown that practicing kindness can boost serotonin and dopamine levels in your brain, which are known as the feel-good happiness hormones. So that can trigger them basically. And that's actually from Pat, who's our mental health first aid training manager. I've taken that one from her. So it's just saying that kindness does have a real important good impact on our mental health and others. So I've broken the webinar down into certain sections. So I've got the first one here is be kind to family and friends. So we're going to concentrate on some examples of how you can be kind to family and friends. And again, you'll see on your pane that you've got for the webinar there should be an area where you can ask questions. So don't just use that for asking questions. It would be really great if people can share any examples they've got of stuff that they've done to be kind to their family and friends as well. And what I'll do is at the end of the webinar, I shall read them all out, and then what I'm hoping is that everyone will get involved. If everyone shares one idea, I could be here for a long time, but we'll go through them all. And if everyone gets one or two ideas to go away with that they can use, then that's going to make a lot of people certainly happy with the kind acts that we're doing and have a good impact. So my first example of, I guess, being kind in terms of family and friends was basically I was speaking to my nan, which I do quite regularly. And basically, my auntie who lives in Spain, she was saying that was feeling obviously a bit down, like lots of us would be through this pandemic. She basically, in Spain, obviously they've had a pandemic really bad as well. And basically, my auntie lives in a small flat, and because she's in Spain, obviously the majority of our family are in here, so she was feeling quite lonely and isolated. And I guess it's something that I've always maybe wanted to do, but just haven't got around to doing it, haven't looked into it, how I can do it. Is actually speaking to her, giving her a call. With all the technology that we've got these days, just to put a little bit of context into it, she's 74 and she doesn't do anything to do with the internet. So you just sort of phone her. So basically, I looked into it a little bit more, how I could make contact with her. Skype, would I ring her on my mobile? But actually, when I looked into ringing her on my mobile, it was quite expensive per minute. So I think a really good thing about this was that I actually managed to get a 4-week free trial with Skype to ring Spain. So it actually didn't cost nothing to do. So this is why it could be something that you guys could look into doing if you have a family member abroad. I did have to just be a little bit careful because I did have to put my card details into Skype. And then a couple of days before the free trial ended, I had to make sure I cancelled it. So if you only want to use the free trial on something like Skype or Zoom or whatever you're going to use to call, just make sure you look at the costs, because I don't want it to come back on me that I've said it's a good idea. So yeah, basically I rang her and she was delighted. We had a really good conversation, and it just cheered her up. And the next time I spoke to my nan, she said that my auntie was really pleased that I'd rang her. It cheered her up, made her day, etc. So it's just a really nice thing to do, and it actually made me feel really good speaking to her. We get on really well. I just haven't spoke to her in a long while, and now going forward, like I say, the Skype free trial that I had has come to an end. But I ring her every week, and I've managed to find another package for Ring in Spain, just landlines for something like £2 something a month, which is a lot cheaper than what I would have probably thought it was going to be. So yeah, it's just a nice example of something that's worked out really well, and we speak every week now, which is great. So another example is my nan, who I was just telling you about. Like I say, we speak probably once, twice a week, easily, and that's before COVID-19 happened. We get on really well, really close family, but I sort of noticed as we got to maybe, shall we say, week 6, week 7 of the lockdown, that when I was speaking to her, she was sounding more down, more not so upbeat. A bit. I guess the conversation was a lot more negative. So she had spoke to other people who had maybe made her feel down as well. So I was really keen to do something to try and cheer her up, make her feel a bit more happier. And as much as I try and do that on the phone with trying to be positive and say you're lucky, at least you can go and sit in the garden, the weather's good, and just talking about good stuff, sharing any positive news that I had. And I wanted to do something a bit different, so I thought, I wonder if I can send a gift or do something that would be really nice. So I managed to get hold of a small Cornish patisserie that were actually delivering cakes and pasties and whatever else. And I managed to get them a little cake box delivered, so 8 cakes, and they're delivered to the door. Obviously, it was all done properly, so social distancing. So they put it on the doorstep, knocked the door, and went away, as all deliveries are happening now. But that really went down well. She really loved that. We spoke on the phone because she rang me to say thank you, and sounded a lot more upbeat and positive. And I guess the thing is with that, I felt really nice to be able to do something for my grandparents. And the nice thing for me is just having that conversation with her and her feeling a lot more upbeat, really positive, really enjoyed the cake. So yeah, that's a really a good one. Just a couple more, because obviously there's so many that different people have done as well, which I will read out at the end. But I just chatting to my sister. So I've got a niece and nephew that Georgia's 1 and Harry's just turned 3. One of the things that my sister has done, which I think's really, really nice, and actually doesn't really, I guess, cost a lot, but there's sentimental value in it is amazing. And what she's done is she does a lot of like arts and crafts bits with Georgia and Harry, so making cards and all the rest of it. And what she's done is basically made some of our family members a card from the kids, so from Georgia and Harry, with a nice picture on it and whatever else. And they might have painted some pictures and bits like that. And then what she's done is put that in an envelope, and she sent that to my nan and my mum, and hopefully me, I'll get one. But which I think is such a lovely idea, because particularly again talking about my mum and nan, and even me as a family, we're missing them growing up. It's been a few months now, and as most of us will be all, I'm sure, aware of, is that kids at that sort of age, especially being so young, they change so quick, and they're learning new words, or especially Harry and all the rest of it. So I just think it's a really nice thing, and I certainly hadn't thought of it. So again, it's just a good example to share with you guys. And finally, another really a nice example that I think is really important is that it's really important that we look after our family and friends, but also that we think about people that we they might not be in, shall we say, our main group or ring of family and friends. So a good example for me here is that normally I play golf. I tend to be more in the summer. Love to go out, have a game of golf. One of the guys I always see at the club and always just sort of say hi to, have a quick brief chat to, is a guy called Clive that's at the golf course. So I've got his number. You know, he's certainly not a best friend or whatever. It's just someone that I see down the golf club when I go for a game of golf occasionally, and I messaged him to see how he's getting on, and he's actually isolated for 12 weeks. But it's been quite nice to occasionally just message him, make sure he's okay. And I know he's got a couple of sons, so I'm sure he is being messaged from his family and friends. But I just think it's a really nice thing because he might not be. So just try and think a little bit outside the box, and maybe you might have the number of someone that you only see occasionally that you might class as a friend, but not a sort of close friend. So you could message someone like Clive is for me, and just see how they're getting on with lockdown. And that could be, you know, they might not be getting many messages. So it's a really nice thing to do and something to think about. So we'll move on to the next. So, like I said, I broke these down into different stages. So we've done be kind to family and friends. The next one we're going to concentrate on is being kind to yourself. So I think when we talk about kindness, most of us will think about being kind to someone else or doing something for someone else. But it's also so important that we look after our own mental health, be kind to ourselves, and do stuff for ourselves. Because, for example, if I'm going to use me as an example, if I'm not feeling positive and doing stuff to look after myself, then when I'm talking to other family members or friends, if they get the vibe from me that I'm feeling down or not feeling so good, that can have an effect on their mental health as well. So it's really important that if you can, as best you can, look after yourself, do stuff for yourself, and then when you're talking to other people and doing things to other people, that'll have a positive effect. But if you're ringing someone and you're down yourself, it's really hard to be, I guess, more upbeat and positive. So this is such an important thing as well. So do something that makes you happy and has a positive effect on your mental health. So again, everyone will be different, but for me, the first, I guess, couple of weeks of lockdown, I'll be really honest, it was one of the, I guess, the bonuses is that I wouldn't have to get up and commute to work. So I'd get up a bit later and I'd come down, have a coffee, sort of, 20 minutes before work start. And what I was finding is I just didn't feel really fresh. I didn't feel necessarily that great because I'd be on a laptop. I wasn't doing much exercise. So I guess I thought I can't do this. I need to be doing something a bit more. So basically, what I do now is I get up a lot earlier. I take the dog for a walk, try and get lots of steps in before work, come in, have some breakfast, and just that makes me feel so much better and more positive because I feel like before I started work, I've done some exercise, and all the everything that goes with that. I also now, between doing calls, like straight after this webinar, what I'll do is on a nice day, I'll just go and sit in the garden for 5 minutes just to get some fresh air in between doing stuff. And that has such a positive effect on me, makes me feel so much better. Now, one of the other things that I was finding, and I'm sure maybe lots of us might have felt this, but after about 3 or 4 weeks, I wasn't really doing so much walking or exercising. I was doing my walk in the morning, but I guess I was feeling that I needed to do a little bit more than that. So I started doing a little run in the evening, obviously on my own, making sure I don't go near anyone else or anything like that. And the effect that's had on me, I just feel so much better. And that's not to say that everyone should go out and run, or do what makes you happy, and obviously make sure that you can do it safely and social distance and in line with obviously government guidelines and all the rest of that stuff. But it could be baking at home, it could be doing some arts and crafts with the kids, it could be gardening, it could be DIY, anything that's going to have that's something that you enjoy. Reading, for example. So I'm sure, hopefully, you guys will share some ideas as well about stuff that you've done to be kind to yourselves as well. So moving on again now. So we've had be kind to yourself, be kind to family and friends. Now be kind to your work colleagues and clients, to your customers as well. So again, I'm just going to give some examples that we've done here at Care First that I think have worked really well. I'm sure your organisations have done some stuff that's really good as well. So again, share lots of ideas, and I'll read them out at the end. It's important to say when you share an idea, I won't read your name out. They are confidential. I'll literally just read the suggestion out, but I won't say who it's from. So one of the things that we've done here at Care First is a quiz night every once in a while. So our second one is tonight. The first one was very successful. So basically, I'm not organising it, but Liam, that's been organising it, he'll invite everyone to it. Give the date maybe a week in advance. Do some questions. He makes sure that it doesn't go on for any longer than an hour. Just so that that's a good time, I guess. But that's something that's really worked well because everyone can interact. And although, as an organisation, I'll speak to other service managers, I'll speak to people but there's other parts of the organisation that I don't really get to interact with since we've been in lockdown. So, sort of maybe our finance team. And just other parts of the organisation. So it's really nice that we can all interact and I guess have a little bit more of a laugh outside of work. And, you can be on the video call and have a drink. And it's just a bit different and a nice way to see everyone. We've also been doing our monthly newsletter. So again, this is something that we do. So it has some more formal stuff in, but then it has some quite nice things in about like almost like a guess who the person is. So they'll talk about some interesting facts about themselves, and then you can send your answers in to the person that runs it. And obviously they'll, in the next edition of the newsletter, they tell you who that person was. And there's also a bit about two members of staff every time we do our monthly newsletter about some interesting facts about them. And it's just a nice little fun way so people can learn stuff about their colleagues and yeah, just some more information. And I guess the reason why I'm linking that to kindness is it's quite a nice, kind idea in the fact that everyone feels part of it then. So if you have a quiz night with all your colleagues, you're all feeling part of that team again, and that's quite a kind thing for Liam to actually organise for all of us. And so it might be that you could organise something similar that will help everyone feel part of the team and the group. And so other things that you could do, you could call one of your colleagues and just check that they're okay. And I know a lot of people say to me, or maybe thinking, I haven't got time to be phoning everyone just to have a general chat about they're okay. I've got loads of work to do, I've got this to do. It hasn't necessarily got to be phoning them just to see if they're okay. It could be that you've got to phone them about something work-related anyway. Just at the beginning of the conversation, how are you getting on with lockdown? How are things going? Have you been doing it? Just a general chat to check in and see if they're okay. If you do get a spare 5 minutes, maybe call a colleague that you haven't spoke to in a while and see how they're doing. So that's a really nice thing to do. And again, if you've got any examples of stuff that you've been doing in your organisation or that you've been doing generally with your customers or colleagues that is a nice kind thing to do, please feel free to share them in the questions pane there, and I'll read them all out at the end. So we're going to move on now to being kind at home. So cooking a nice meal as a treat, as possibly you can't go out to that favourite restaurant that you like to go out to once a month or once every 2 weeks. So what you could do is instead order a really nice meal, so a steak meal or whatever you like, something that you don't normally have that will be a treat. You could cook it, maybe lay the table, have some candles, all that sort of, I guess maybe just making it a lot nicer and a nice surprise for someone. So that could be for your partner, for someone whoever lives in your house, really. It'd just be maybe a nice thing to do. Maybe you could create your own movie night and suggest it for people in your household that you're going to have a movie night. So you could get some popcorn, nice drinks and bits like that, and arrange a movie night for you all, because obviously we can't go up to the cinema and stuff like that, so that could be quite a nice thing to do. Bake a cake for people in the house, if you can get hold of any flour, that is. You could do maybe breakfast in bed for them as a treat on a Sunday or a weekend or whenever. So again, just some nice things that you can maybe do at home. It could be that you could paint the house for them, or maybe they've been, your other half's been on to you about putting a picture up for ages, so you can put the picture up for them while they're I don't know, still up in bed, or they're upstairs doing something, or whatever it may be, and then when they come down, that's a nice surprise for them. So it's just trying to do something kind at home. And finally, be kind to your community. So this is obviously just talking about when you're out and about. So obviously still the social distance and following the government guidelines, but it could be, when you're going shopping, just smiling at someone. It has I guess, an infectious thing. Whenever anyone smiles at me, it makes me smile back, and it makes me feel good. Again, if you're doing your shopping, be patient, which I think everyone is generally doing at the moment. But even going forward, these are really good traits that we can bear in mind as we're moving on. It could be, so for example, where I live, there is like a Facebook group for the actual area, and 6-7 houses that are in our little area are on that. So it could be just sharing a good news story in that Facebook group, or checking in with each other to see how everyone in the little neighbourhood is doing. If anyone needs something from the shop, if I'm going shopping, for example, I could just drop it outside their door for them. Again, you've got the examples on the slide there, but if there's any other really good examples you guys have, please feel free to share them. So, kindness pyramid. So basically, there's a reason for this, and it might look a little bit weird to look at to start with, but I'll explain it. So one of the things that is really important with kindness and being kind to other people is it's important not to overdo it, or you may actually become overwhelmed. So, if all of a sudden you think, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do all these different things, it might actually be too much for you to do to start with. And it's important to, maybe if you're not sure where to start, or just start in a small way. So what the pyramid looks at is, I guess, 3 different stages. Now, this is just a simplified version of looking at it. So a really nice, easy, simple thing to do to start with, if you're not sure where to start, so that you don't become overwhelmed, is just the stuff in the green there at the bottom of the pyramid there. So it could be that you think, well, I'm going to start off by giving someone a compliment. That's hopefully fairly easy to do, and that's something that you could do straight away. So you could phone someone up and give them a compliment. When you're on a video call, if it's at work, you could give someone a compliment. And it's the same with a smile or sharing a good news story. Fairly easy things to do. You haven't maybe got to put a load of training in to do them. Hopefully, like I say, they won't take lots of time to even share a good news story. Hopefully it wouldn't take a long time to find something to share. So the green bit of the kindness pyramid is just how to be kind, but sort of more simple, basic things that you can do to be kind. So if you're not sure where to start, that's a good place to start. So then the next stage of the pyramid is the orange, which is sending a gift. So that could be, again, going back to my example earlier on with my nan, that could be sending her the cakes. Now, a little bit more, I guess, thought and effort has to go into that, because I have to think about how I'm going to do that. How am I going to get that to them? What am I going to get them? Am I going to give cakes, flowers? Then I've got to find someone that can actually supply that and deliver it. Pay for it all. That, you know, there's a little bit more than just giving a compliment that's got to go into that. A little bit more organisation. They're both really, you know, whether it's a compliment, smile, sharing a good news story, or sending a gift, they're still both really important things to do. But that's a little bit more difficult to do. And then we get to the top of the pyramid, and I've chosen here as an example a fundraiser marathon. So again, a really nice kind thing to do to raise money for a charity, but I couldn't go and do a marathon tomorrow. I would need to put a lot of months of training in to do that. I would need to arrange which marathon I'm going to do. Then I know, for example, like the London Marathon, I think you have to ballot for or put your name. Yeah, so that's not something I can do straight away. I've got a lot of training to do. I've got to sort out what charity I'm going to do it for. There's a lot more involved in that. So this pyramid might change for each of you, but it's just important to think about what you can do to be kind and when you can do it. I'm sure, you know, for most of us, going out and running a marathon tomorrow just isn't something that we can do. And also with this pyramid, it's quite a nice thing to look at and think about when you're thinking about ways in which you can be kind, because you could actually think, well, I'm going to do something from the green section, the more you know, simple things that I can do to be kind. I'm going to do that this week. That's my aim. And then by the end of next month, I want to be able to do something in the orange. So something that's a little bit more, I've got to put a bit more thought, I've got to do a little bit more to organise it. But I want to be able to do that by the end of next month. And then the top of the pyramid could be something like, it might not be a marathon for you, but it could be something that's going to be a lot more, I guess, harder to do, or a lot more organisation is going to go into it. So it could be, if you're, for example, a leader of a business, it could be that we're going to have a kindness day every year, or we're going to do a charity day where everyone can take an extra day's leave and they can go and work for a charity. But whatever it is a little bit more complicated. A lot more thought's got to go into. You've got to get it signed off, or whatever it could be. And what's interesting with this is, if you look at it, it helps you think about how you can be kind in the future as well, because you could plan to do the compliment every week, send a gift by the end of next month, and then do a marathon, for example, next year. So you're actually looking into how you can be kind now, a month's time, and in the future. So hopefully then what you'll do is, when you get to that marathon in a year's time, you'll still be in your mind thinking, I'm doing this because I'm being kind, I'm doing it for someone else. Oh, actually, I haven't been giving someone so many compliments recently. And it will just make you think about the things of why you're doing it, the pyramid, and hopefully help you to be kind in the future as well. Because it's all good us talking about kindness for this week, but what we don't want to do is then 3 weeks down the line, we've forgot about it. We've done a couple of little bits, and you know, it'd be nice if everyone can be more kinder going forward, because that's going to have a real good positive effect on our mental health and other people's mental health. So yeah, like I say, use it, and you know, you haven't got to do it in a pyramid form, but it's just something to think about, the things that you can do, and it will help you not to be overwhelmed as well. So I hope that's useful. So the last slide is just to talk about the Care First service that's available to you. And I think what's important here is that actually, if you need to use the Care First service, this is a way of being kind to yourself, because it is important to look after our own mental well-being. So our counselling team are available 24/7. Your HR team will have the number that you can contact Care First through, or if anyone's not sure, you can also email me on the email address there, which is info@care-first.co.uk, and I'll be able to find that for you and get that. The only reason it's not on the slide because different organisations sometimes have different phone numbers to phone into Care First, so that's the only reason why. We obviously also have our team of information specialists, which are available Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So again, it's important to be kind to yourself and look after your own mental well-being. So if you have any issues that are happening at the minute or any worries, phone into Care First. It's important to try and deal with them proactively, and as you can, try not to leave everything build up. Our counsellors can help. It's impartial advice, and they'll be happy to help. And it's the same with our information specialists. If you've got anything that's worrying you that's more practical, so you need information about mortgage holiday payments or the self-employed furlough scheme that's ongoing, stuff around that. If there's anything that is worrying you, feel free to phone in. That's what the service is there for. And also by you looking after any issues that you have or any worries that you have, that's going to have a positive effect on you. And when you're speaking to other people and your family, friends, or whatever, that's going to have, then you're going to be a lot more positive speaking to them as well. So I hope that helps today. I hope you found it all important. I'm going to go live now and I'll read out hopefully lots of examples that we've got. Also, if anyone has any questions about what I have spoke about, send in the questions pane as well. Again, it will be confidential. I'll read out the question and the answer. So I'll go live now and we'll look at any examples. Yeah, so I hope you all found that interesting. Sorry, there's quite a lot there, and I've got lots and lots of examples that have come through. So it's absolutely fantastic that everyone's shared lots of ideas. So I will do my best to get through as many. So one example is posted a note through some of their neighbours' doors or doors within the neighbourhood, offering help for anyone that needed it. Basically, this person got one request from an elderly man asking for email assistance with his insurance company. And this person wrote to that elderly gentleman's insurance company for them, and they were able to settle the claim and sort out obviously the issue there. So that's a great example. Just moving on. Bear with me, I'm just sorting through them. There's quite a lot. So someone's just saying that they've basically been blown away with some of the acts of kindness that they've seen from individuals and charity organisations within the community. And yeah, I agree. There's certainly been so much out there, which has been amazing. Another individual has done some shopping for their next door neighbour as she is in a house alone. Doing online exams. So basically she's a student, so she's doing her online exams, so this person's done some shopping for them, which is a great thing to do, and I'm sure lots of you and others have done that as well. Another person has bought a large bag of popcorn and shared it out to the family for like a family movie night, so that's brilliant. This person, at the start of lockdown, they had looked after their husband who became ill and took shopping over for their sister who is a single mum and her family who were self-isolating. So again, another shopping example, which is great, especially if a member in your family wasn't too well. So this person has said, try and have a regular evening call with our family elders, especially those who are shielding currently. They try and have a sing-along. That's a great idea. Quiz and just a general chat as well, which is great. So another one, I like this. They have a Friday night quiz, so all friends and family can join in, and they have lots of fun with that. And that's the same time every Friday, so that's a good regular way of keeping in contact with everyone. So I really like this. I have seen other people do similar things with Amazon, but basically this individual, I send little gifts to distant members, sorry, of the family direct from Amazon, and then they also drop off flowers or extra bits when getting shopping for their mum or their neighbours. Oh wow, I've not thought or heard of this one. So doing an online escape room with friends and family is another way of having fun. That's pretty cool. I've never heard of that. I'll have to check that out. So again, another individual calling their family that don't live local a couple of times a week. So it's a really nice thing to keep in contact with them. So another one, an individual's put, what has impressed me is the online sessions that staff have been hosting on our staff Facebook site. This includes a regular DJ music, cookery lessons, yoga, and even cocktail making. I personally found the yoga a great help to relax and unwind. Brilliant. Someone else, so I call my nana every Sunday to check in on her. My mum calls me every Monday to check in on me. So again, lots of communication out there, which is great. I like this one. I've sent afternoon tea to my parents. I've sent little pocket hugs to 10 friends. We have weekly friends meeting online. So that's good. So this might be really handy for everyone out there to know. So apparently Google Hangouts is free and can take up to 10 callers. You just need a Gmail address. So I've not actually used Google Hangouts, but that's been in a couple of the questions that have come through, so that might be worth trying for some people. Another person has sent a handwritten letter to a letter to a friend. Sorry, so that's quite a nice personal touch. I really like that. Another person sent flowers, so again, really nice. I think that makes most people's day when they receive that. So an act of kindness towards me, this person has put. So the home where where they're based has no social media. So to keep families up to date. So I'm just reading it. Oh, so they were added onto a Facebook group, someone else's Facebook group, and basically so they could be kept up to date with everything that's going on. So that's really good. Sorry, there's loads that have come through, so I'm reading them as I'm going. There's so many, which is great. Again, about sending letters to family and friends, so that's brilliant. On more of a wider level, this person had actually had a miscarriage, which is obviously terrible news. Sorry to hear that. But they've actually started a not-for-profit group, which is called Morgan's Wings, to support other parents going through miscarriage. So that's a really great thing to do from such a bad situation. A lot of people have put this, but they're using WhatsApp to call their family abroad, and it's great, especially for extended family. So that's brilliant. I didn't think of WhatsApp, but that's a great one. Again, scheduling and arranging weekly Zoom catch-ups for family and school friends, so that's good. An example of being kind. So this person bought a paint by numbers set and sent it to someone that they know that's self-isolating. So that would then give that person something fun to do. So this person is currently working remotely, but has spent a few weeks staying with her mum, who has dementia and recently had a seizure a couple of weeks ago. So she's kept away during the start of lockdown, but decided to help out by staying with her and her dad, to be able to obviously help out a lot more. So she does the shopping, she does cooking, cleaning, washing. So does lots of stuff to help her mum and dad, which is great. Again, more about Zoom calls and video calling, so that's great. Someone's asked if they can have a Cornish pasty delivered. That's brilliant. Imagine if we did that for everyone. um, Someone said that their partner doesn't live with them, so what they've done is they write each other a weekly poem, or they have a weekly challenge, or make a video, something along them lines. So that's good that they can stay in contact by doing stuff like that. Yeah, no, another really good one is encouraging colleagues to attend mental health awareness seminars. So yeah, that's a good one. This person dropped off a bag of toys for a friend's children, so that's great as well. Yeah, this is one that my mum and stepdad do, but basically cook and deliver Sunday lunch for their mum and some of their friends. So I think that's great. I wish someone would do that for me. That's brilliant. Again, keeping in contact with colleagues via like a WhatsApp group, so you can share good news stories and check in with people via WhatsApp. So that's really good. Sending this person sent their cousin a present. They wouldn't normally, but this person's not been feeling that great. So again, just sending them something to cheer them up. Yeah, really good one. So this person's been sharing recipes with their friends. So they've been making some really nice cakes and bits, and then sharing the photos and recipes so other people can make them. So that's a really good one. Yeah, I think this person's just saying that basically I've found that I've been more open, and so have those around me, to telling others we appreciate them and asking how people are feeling. So, and actually listening to them more and taking in what they're saying. I think that's really interesting, that life's normally very frantic and busy, and that actually, we take the time to listen to people and maybe appreciate each other more, which is good. Again, contacting neighbours and delivering shopping. So this person, just as lockdown started, basically received some emails from some students who was experiencing increased levels of anxiety, especially because some of them were left alone in student accommodation. So they set up a coffee morning on Zoom. So that's quite a nice thing to do, to have that coffee morning. Sorry, bear with me. I'm trying to go through. There's so many. I'm trying not to read them out so often, because obviously a lot of them are quite similar. So asking a friend, relative, or neighbour if they need help with sorting paperwork, bills, benefits, contacting council, etc. If they don't use computers themselves, then yeah, no, obviously it's a bit of a struggle to physically go somewhere. So going to your bank to pay something in, so it's just helping them people that haven't got the access to using the internet to sort bills, etc. out.
I love this one. So my kids painted rainbows for all the neighbours and they put them in their window. That's brilliant. So yeah, this person spoke to 3 elderly ladies in their neighbourhood, and they speak to them 2 or 3 times a week to check in on them. Dropping off some magazines to someone that's self-isolating. So when this person has fish and chips from their shop, they contact the lady that's self-isolating, and they pick her up something from the chip shop as well and drop it into her. So that's a really nice thing to do. Yeah, this person basically, their 95-year-old auntie went into a care home before lockdown. So obviously she was really upset. So they've been looking after her by sending her colouring books and gifts and all sorts to cheer her up. So that's a great thing to do. Again, this person had like a beauty and pamper night with everyone in their household, with face masks, etc. So again, that sounds wicked, really nice and relaxing. Good way to be kind to yourself. So again, this individual enjoys knitting and enjoys baking, so they made some red hearts for their local hospital and sent them out. And they've also knitted little NHS nurses and doctors for people who have small children, for their memory boxes. So that sounds such a cool idea. I'm sure they love them. That's really good. I'm going to read a couple more out, then we'll call it because I'm aware that time's moving on. But thank you all so much for being so involved. It's so much, so many ideas there. I'm just going to sort of scan through. Sorry if I haven't read anyone's out. I'm just going to try and look through for any that are a bit different to what we've already heard. So this one is take time to look at the night sky. Yeah, quite a nice one. Doing a distance learning course is ideal at this current time. So yeah, if you wanted to learn another language or learn something that you don't know, it's like I say, a good time. A smile goes a long way. I love that. I know we talked about that a lot. So I think it's like as I said in the presentation, it's such an infectious thing. A few people have asked if this webinar will be available at a later date. It is recorded, so people will be able to go back into it. Someone sent a veg box to their great aunt. Again, sent some flowers. This person's putting money aside for themselves for a new tattoo, so they're doing that every week. So when eventually, hopefully, they can get that done, they can do that. And we'll do, I can't believe how many we've got. So many. Sorry, I am still here. I'm just looking for something a bit different again. So I go walking most mornings with my teenage daughter, and that gives them both time to reflect. And that's it, guys. I'm not going to do because there literally is so many there I could go through. Sorry if I haven't read anyone's out, but thank you all so much for your time and tuning in today. And I hope you have found it useful. And if anything, that you can take away 1 or 2 ideas from today. And it's great to hear that so many people are doing so many kind acts. And let's hope that we can all make such a big effort to continue it once all of this is over. So that's great. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and look after yourselves.